I would just like to say thank you to the Imperial War Museum and their film and video trustees IWM. Without them, I wouldn't be able to access not just this old film, but various old films which are in project at the moment. Thank you very much. What you are about to see is a short film on an experiment that took place in the 1960s with the use of a platoon of Royal Marines. They were sent out on a daily exercise to recce an area, and were told there was terrorists in the area. All the Marines were volunteers. The Ministry of Defense had come up with the idea of this experiment where they would give all the soldiers lysergic acid diethylum, LSD for short, from all accounts. This experiment was driven by the Cold War going on at the time, and different governments were looking into the effects of nuclear, biological and chemical warfare. The psychology behind this experiment is mind-blowing. To a layman like me, and may I add a veteran myself, is unbelievable. I can't find any information on the aftermath of this experiment, i.e. what was the government's thought on LSD at the time. I do know that all soldiers were back to normal the next day and there was no long-term medical problems. The British military has had 500 years of training and equipping and making ready soldiers for different tasks, and as we delve deeper into not just the psychology of the individual soldier, but the psychology of the thinking of the Ministry of Defense, I think a lot of people will be shocked. Let's have a look at this video.
The drug was given orally to the men in the hospital ward at 11:15, and they immediately embussed, arriving at the exercise area 10 minutes later. They advanced in extended line on the beaches where the troop commander planned to form his firm base. During the clearing of the wood, a terrorist is discovered in a thicket and is captured. Some stores are also found. Medical staff and observers wearing civilian clothes accompany the troop throughout the exercise. By 11:35, troop headquarters is established on the southern edge of the beaches. At 11:40, the first effects of the drug make their appearance. 2 Marines are reported to the troop commander for insubordination, no one realizing that their behavior was due to the first effects of the drug. The drug is also beginning to affect the other men. They no longer take cover, they relax and begin to giggle. At this time, one man is more severely affected than the others, losing all contact with reality, dropping his rifle and becoming unable to take any part in the operation. In fact, he has to be withdrawn from the exercise a few minutes later. Meanwhile, Section 2 starts to advance to Redwood. The troops have lost their air of urgency, and many men are laughing. They advance over open country and suddenly come under effective fire from the brick hut on their left flank. The umpire rules that 2 men have been killed by this fire. One of these is the radio operator who, by this time, 11:50, has become incapable of operating his set effectively anyway. His relief reports the incident to troop headquarters, where the level of efficiency of the men, including that of the troop commander, is also dropping. The section commander is informed that the brick hut will be neutralized by the rocket launcher carried in troop headquarters, and that he is to continue the advance as soon as the target is engaged. The movements of the rocket launching team have become slow and uncoordinated, and it is apparent that they are now incapable of taking proper aim. At 11:55, Section 2 continues its advance until it again comes under fire from the direction of Redwood. At this point, 45 minutes after administration of the drug, these men, although becoming more and more detached from the reality of their environment, are still capable of effective response to any sudden stimulus. However, their response is for limited periods only, after which they again become indecisive and lethargic in their movements. At the edge of the wood, in the area from which fire has just been brought to bear on them, they are bunching and fail to get under cover quickly. At 12 o'clock, number 2 section again reports the situation and asks for reinforcements. As a result, number 1 section is dispatched by Land Rover from the beaches to reinforce them from the right flank, which is presumed to be clear of the enemy. Without the stimulus of an immediate objective, the men give way to laughter. Defensive positions are not adopted. However, when an enemy throws a thunder flash into the section, the men are again stimulated into awareness. But it is only the radio operator who responds sufficiently to capture the man. The section is still within sight of the beaches, which is only 700 yards away, over open country. But by 5 minutes past 12, the troops are so disorientated that they are incapable of appreciating this. The sergeant tries to use a map, and they start arguing about their position before sending the prisoner back to troop headquarters. Meanwhile, radio communication at the beaches has become difficult, if not impossible. Men with no specific task to perform have relapsed into laughter and inconsequential behavior, though they are still capable of sustained physical effort. This man nearly succeeded in felling this tree using only a spade. However, constructive action is still attempted by those retaining their sense of responsibility and having a definite job to do. In Redwood, at 10 minutes past 12, number 1 section makes contact with number 2 section. Neither section commander feels himself capable of continuing to command, and each tries to hand over to the other. The link-up having been achieved, in the absence of firm leadership, the men begin to drift aimlessly. Eventually, at 12:20, more by individual decision than by command, they decide to return to their firm base at the beaches. While these incidents are taking place, the troop commander is still trying to direct the action in spite of feeling nauseated and being disturbed by the mental effects produced by the drug. In beaches, an enemy walks right through the position undetected, returns and throws a thunder flash. A few men respond sufficiently to capture and search him, but 70 minutes after the administration of the drug, with one man climbing a tree, the troop commander gives up, saying, "I cannot do anything about this. I cannot control the men, and I can take no action myself. I am wiped out as an attacking force." The following scenes were taken while the troops awaited for transport to take them to the station hospital for observation. Relieved of trying to maintain command, the troop commander shows the full effects of the drug, the main signs of which he had managed to suppress until this time. Organization of the men was made difficult by the fact that reality had become so distorted for some of them that they became unwilling and even afraid to enter the ambulance and other vehicles. However, after much delay, they all arrived safely at the hospital at 1 o'clock.